God Save Birmingham is an insane sandbox open-world realistic game about zombies. The game is being developed by the studio Ocean Drive Studio, and its early access version is planned to 2025, but only for PC, on Steam. But later the game will also be released on Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. Survive an undead plague in a painstakingly recreated medieval market town. Manage your needs, master physics-based mechanics, and evade the horde for as long as you can. A game with a realistic approach in many details, crafting, combat, movements, and possibilities, and it promises to be one of the most immersive zombie games ever. The Midnight Walkers is a new online PvPvE first-person extraction game, and here, the universe is taken by zombies. That'll be the standard enemies of the game. The studio developing it is One Way Ticket Studio, and the game is planned to be released still in 2025, only to PC. Fight, loot, and survive in a PvPvE first-person zombie extraction game set in Liberty Grand Center, a towering mega-complex overrun by deadly zombies and brutal bosses. Craft weapons, search for loot, or steal from other survivors. Escape with your life or descend deeper and discover its horrors. A.I.L.A is an interesting and unique first-person survival horror game, and the idea of the game sounds really interesting, as you will see here, and it's being developed by Pulsatrix Studios. In the game we'll control a game tester in a future world, so the VR games will be the main idea for the story. So in some moment the experience of the game will be also part of the reality that will end up becoming a true horror. The most interesting thing here is that the game will mix a game, in the game, and the reality of the game, so we'll surely see a lot of different places and times during the game. What sounds really fun. The game is coming out probably in 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC.
Who did you love? Believe.
State of Decay 3 is the new and biggest game of the zombie survival series. The original games were kinda simple yet fun, especially playing with friends, but this new adventure promises to be greater in all aspects since the graphics, gameplay, possibilities, and the universe itself. The game is being developed by the studio Undead Labs, a Xbox Games studio, and it's confirmed to Xbox Series X and S, and Windows, but I would not doubt of a PlayStation 5 version too. Unite to survive, push back the blood plague to reclaim the land's resources and carve out a life in the zombie apocalypse. It still has no release date, but is believed to be released in 2025 or 2026.
When we ventured out beyond the gates.
Resident Evil Requiem is finally a totally new Resident Evil game announced. The game promises to be a new era of survival horror games, just like Resident Evil 7 was some years ago, and Resident Evil 2 Remake as well. Requiem promises to be different, with new characters, a new approach, but still a survival horror game mixed with action, and the first trailer is really insane. It's being developed by Capcom and is coming out in February 27, 2026 to Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, and Windows.
Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past.
Stay away from that!
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is an online cooperative first-person shooter set in a world with zombies, in the famous style of the classic Left 4 Dead. It's being developed by the studio Saber Interactive and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows, but there's no release date yet. In the near future, an experimental attempt to harness the power of the Earth's core ends in a terrible disaster, the release of the Sludge God, an eldritch abomination that begins terraforming the area, turning the ground into scum and the living into undead monsters. Another game for you that miss games in this style. Call some friends, start the gameplay, get your equipments, and start killing zombies.
Close. Stay here. Stand guard.
If you push too much, you might unleash the beast.
Dying Like the Beast is a standalone adventure from the original games, and it's being developed by Techland. In case you don't know how it works, it's an open world filled with zombies, so you need to survive using different types of weapons, which you can explore for more. But the most interesting part of the game is the gameplay itself, with a first-person camera and insane parkour movements. For the ones who like especially the first Dying Light, you should keep an eye out for this game, and it's coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Windows in August 21st, 2025.
He's experimenting on humans like they're lab rats. God only knows what the Baron's planning to do with those monsters.
Who's ready for a bit of fun then?
Killing Floor 3 is an insane co-op first-person shooter, as the series is known for being an extremely fun and brutal franchise. The game is being developed by the studio Tripwire Interactive, and looks very fun. It's 2091 and Megacorp Horzine has produced the Ultimate Army, an obedient horde of bioengineered monsters called Zeds, and now you gotta join the resistance, alone, or with your friends to defend the future of mankind. The game promises to be as brutal as never, with horrifying beings and a lot of possibilities since weapons, to gadgets, and much more. And the game is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. It was supposed to be released in March, but was postponed, but will still be released in 2025.
Your attention. What do you see?
Giant. Sleeping.
Again.
Animals. Fighting.
Again.
Cronos: The New Dawn is a new survival horror developed by the studio Bloober team. If you don't know, it's the studio that developed the remake of the beloved Silent Hill 2, and they did a great job there, so I'm curious to see the final version of the game. Some things that are extremely important in a survival horror game are visuals of enemies and environments, gameplay, immersion, a good combat in case the game got a combat system, and a good story. And this game seems to have all of these things. Of course we'll need to see it for real to really know how it's going to be, but it looks good in the trailer. And the story will be immersive and with time travel features, what's always complex to do. And it's coming out in 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PS5, and Windows.
It was in a state of suppressed recomposition.
The behavior pattern of the orphans populating the area is highly unusual. They seem to act more consistently, in coordination.
Destroying the nest is now a priority.
I hope this will be our last journey and bring us richness and freedom. But what's the value of human freedom if it's to face hell? This way. Over there. And behind
The Mound Omen of Cthulhu is a new co-op game set in the universe of the famous Cthulhu. The game is being developed by the Studio Ace team and will be published by Nacon. It shall be released in some moment of 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. In up to 4-player co-op, form a group of explorers searching for treasure. In this cursed jungle, danger is everywhere and monstrous creatures alter reality. Stay clear-headed and tame the jungle before it devours you. The game shall envelope adventure with horror, since it's a horror universe, and in the gameplay trailer it looks like a sort of Left 4 Dead. That's a beloved style, but it's been kind of forgotten nowadays in my opinion. But let's hope that this is a good game.
What the hell? Yeah, crazy.
Guys, I'm lost. Where are you? Oh, not again. You can't hear it. Why did you do it? Sorry.
Silent Hill F is the totally new Silent Hill game after more than 10 years. I'm not counting the short message here. That is not a true Silent Hill, to be honest. The game is being developed by the studio Neobards Entertainment Limited and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows, and it's confirmed to September 25, 2025. For the first time in the main series, the game won't be set in Silent Hills. Yes, it'll be set in Japan, as you can see. Despite that, we can see that it looks bizarre, just like a Silent Hills game gotta be, and they promised that it's going to be a true Silent Hill experience, a true survival horror, with bizarre creatures and an immersive and unsettling story.
Hinako, どこにいるの? 一人は嫌だよ。寂しいよ。 ずっと一緒だよって。
The Sinking City 2 is a new survival horror game set in a world inspired in the pieces of H.P. Lovecraft. The game is being developed by the studio Frogwares. It's being developed for Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5 and PC, and there's no release date yet, but maybe 2025 or 2026. Experience a heart-pounding survival horror as you explore the flooded city of Arkham and fight eldritch monsters beyond human comprehension. All that with insane realistic graphics made in Unreal Engine 5, with impressive visual and immersion. So if you are a fan of horror games, this is one that you need to keep an eye out for.
Attention. Due to recent flooding and pandemic, access to all external areas is restricted abnormal. Your safety in this new world is our absolute priority.
Zombies ゾンビとは過去に囚われ、抜け出せない者たちです。彼らは真の解雇主義者なのですよ。
このようなことが連鎖的に起きたんでしょう。ここにあなたが
Showa American Story is a really curious game. It's going to be a RPG game, but a very unique one. The game is being developed by the studio Netcom Entertainment and it's planned to be released still in 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. A brand new RPG and an enthusiastic love letter to the 80s pop culture that features a strong taste of B-movies. Follow Chuko's journey of truth and revenge across North America as she grows stronger. A game that mixes many features. It even resembles Yakuza series in some aspects. The combat will mix melee combat to combat with firearms, all set in a third-person camera.
Jezus Maria,
Holstin is a psychological survival horror game set in an eerie, isolated 90s Polish town consumed by an ominous presence. It's being developed by the studio Sonka and it's planned to be released on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and Windows, but with no release date yet. A small, isolated town in eastern Poland is struck by a fall calamity that slowly begins to consume everyone and everything it touches. This is the last known whereabouts of your friend Bartek before he stopped answering your calls. A game with a retro style, since graphics, gameplay, and camera.
Oddział terenowy Jeziorny Kolonia. Kiedy to będzie wszystko gotowe?
Hucznie! Lub z cicha pęk. Sposobów na dbanie o bezpieczeństwo na ulicach jest bez liku. Dla każdego coś miłego. Jeden woli działać pozostając w rozsądnym oddaleniu.
A.I.L.A is a first-person horror game that's even hard to believe it's real. The game is being developed by the studios Moonfish and Team Cloud and is being developed for some years already, as it was first announced in 2021 and many people thought that it had been cancelled, but it seems it's still standing and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Windows with no release date yet. But if it's as good as it looks, it'll be one of the scariest video games ever released.